I got to be honest. The Cavs didn't shoot well today. They obviously didn't play good enough defense today, but that's not who I'm blaming for this game. The only person I can blame for this game is me. This game is my fault. I made the foolish decision to go and see the Cavs in person today against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. Ever since I've moved to the South and I've watched the Cavs when they've come into town, they have lost every single time. Going back February 15th, 2022, Cavs lose. Going back March 31st, I remember that one. Cavs lost by like 30. All right, let's go to 2023. The Cavs lost both games in Atlanta that year. 2023-24 season, I was so fed up with it. I said, no, I am not buying the ticket to the January 20th Cavs Hawks game. I opted out. Cavs won that one. And then in March 6th, I went back. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go see the Cavs. They lost by 12 points. And then what happened today? Cavs lose against the Hawks. My bad. I got to stop going to these games. I got to stop. This is my fault. But all jokes aside, right? The Cavs did have some pretty serious problems pop up in this game. And the question is, like, how seriously do you take it? On one hand, the Cavs are 17-3. The games that they lost and had these befuddling performances on were the games before and after Thanksgiving. So maybe the holiday had something to do with it. Maybe the Cavs were just due for some off shooting nights. Like, is this indicative of some kind of major systemic problem of what the Cavs want to do that's going to keep them from reaching their goals? I think the answer to that is a bit complicated. I think a lot of this in this game was just horrible shot selection, but I do think that the shot selection and the off shooting night has something to do with what Kenny Atkinson does bring. Now, again, we talk about the good that Kenny Atkinson has brought. He has empowered guys to shoot the ball. He's empowered Evan Mobley to handle the ball more often. He's empowering guys who weren't empowered to be better than that. And we've gotten better performances from Evan Mobley this year, Isaac Okoro this year, Jalen Tyson, George Niang, Karis LeVert, Ty Jerome. So you can't say that it's not working when the Cavs are 17-3. This to me feels like the natural downside of doing what Kenny Atkinson wants to do. Like when you encourage this many people to take shots, you're going to have nights where not only are you missing shots, but you're taking bad shots. When you're encouraging shooting as much as the Cavs are, right, you're gonna get a lot of nights or some nights where you're shot chucking, right? And if they're not falling at a high level, which they most certainly were not falling at a high level today for the Cavs. The Cavs shot 40% from the field and 28% from three. I believe in the first half that number was down to 18%, and they were like 30% from the field. So just like awful shooting splits, they had an awful shooting night. I think everybody outside of like Evan Mobley and Darius Garland and maybe Jared Allen were terrible from the field today. Isaac Okoro was 0 for 5. Donovan Mitchell was 5 of 23. Ooh, rough night for Donovan Mitchell. Like, it's been a rough 2 nights for Donovan Mitchell, to be fair. Evan played pretty good in this one. I thought he took advantage of some space, was really aggressive in some spots. He had 24 and 12. I thought Jarrett could have been a little bit more aggressive. I thought he kind of hesitated a lot. Darius, I thought, shot the ball really well in this one. 11 of 19, 5 of 9, 8 from 3, 30 points, 28 points, my bad. You didn't get a lot of shooting help from the bench for as many shots as they took. The bench, Jason Tyson didn't shoot much, but George Niang, 1 for 6 from the floor. He's had an awful couple of nights. And like George Niang, I got to give him credit. He came in immediately and you knew what time it was going to be for George Niang in this game because he popped off the bench, got sucked into the lane, opened up a corner 3, and then turned the ball over on the next possession. Like, it was amazing how bad George Niang was so quickly in this game. Ty Jerome was not great in this one. He was 3 of 7 from the field, which isn't terrible, but it's not what you expect from him at this point. Karis LeVert looked very rusty. He, at one point, double pumped a dunk. But overall, he made a couple threes in the back end of things. It was fine. And then Sam Merrill, man, like, I don't know if they should put you in them rotations anymore, brother. Like, if you could replace 2 people in the current Cavs rotation, I would say George Niang needs less minutes, and Sam Merrill needs less minutes. I don't think they need to be banished from the team entirely. Well, I think Sam Merrill will naturally just have to be taken out. But George Niang doesn't need 20 minutes a game. I think you could put him down to like 11 and just live with it. Defensively, he has been very inconsistent. And when he's inconsistent like this, it just leads to a whole mess of problems because he's really only out there to make it easier to defend corner threes because he can stay on the perimeter. But he lacks discipline when he's on defense at times, which makes him open up a bunch of corner threes. Like, the Cavs didn't have a corner 3 problem in this game until George Niang checked into the game. Yeah, I think Dean Wade needs to get back. You got to find a way to get George Niang off the court, and then also Max Strus maybe helps with that. Cavs clearly need help defensively from the perimeter. There are weeks where Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are guarding just fine, and there are weeks where, it looks obvious that Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are struggling to play defensively. This is one of those weeks where that's been the case for Darius and Donovan. It's not been a great perimeter week. Honestly, it's not been a great week interior. I don't think Jared Allen played particularly great defense today. I thought Evan Mobley was fine on the perimeter, but really didn't do much in the paint defensively. Like, they kind of just let some of the Hawks' bigger players just get whatever they want on them, especially their wings. Like DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Hunter was just getting whatever he wanted on this Cavs interior. He had 23 points. He was 7 of 12 from the field, and he made 4 threes on top of that. The Cavs just couldn't do anything. Okongwu went 6 of 8 on you, 1 of 2 from 3, made 15 points. Like, their bigs and their long wings were really just destroying you in this one. Trae Young was a little bit better than he was last night, right? Well, not last night, on Wednesday from the field. He did not shoot terribly, but he was not the guy killing you in this game. It was really DeAndre Hunter and Okongwu. It was that bench unit for the Atlanta Hawks that was really doing a number on the Cavs, and they just really couldn't find a way to get stops. Now, to be fair, the Hawks were just making everything in this game. Like, I don't think this is a usual Atlanta Hawks performance. Like, people who are out here like trying to push an agenda and say, oh my God, this proves that my agenda is correct because look at that. The Hawks have length, and this proves that that's a problem for the Cavs. And I'm not saying that length is not an issue with the Cavs. I do think it is, but we also got to be real. Like, Atlanta just had one of their better games of the season shooting wise. They shot 50% from the field, and what were they shooting from 3? Yeah, like 41. They're not going to replicate those kind of numbers on a regular basis. They also out-rebounded you by 13. Like, this tells me everything I need to know that the effort just wasn't there in this one. Because the Cavs, the Hawks turned the ball over 21 times, but we didn't win. We only won by fast break points by like 4. Yeah, the hustle wasn't there in this one, right? They got more points in the paint, unacceptable, than you, and when you fouled more by 2, but both teams were fouling kind of crazy in this one. But that's really my thoughts on this. I don't want to take this and go any further than it needs to with this Hawks loss, with this pair of Hawks losses. We'll see how much it means in a couple of weeks, right? If this is a pattern that continues for the Cavs, then obviously that's something to be concerned about. But if they drop these 2 games and then go on another streak, then there was no agenda proven in these 2 games. It was just, a bad shooting night combined with Atlanta having 2 hot shooting nights against you. We'll see what happens. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.